Hi everybody, welcome to our lesson. In this lesson, our topic is
Relative clauses.
relative clauses. Yes, this is a bit complicated topic. That's why we choose this topic
Yes.
to make people clear about the usage of relative clauses. So we prepared with my student Emre a very useful slide. So we're gonna talk with the slide. Let's check the first slide, Emre.
Yes.
So here are some relative pronouns.
Pronouns.
Can you mention them, please?
Of course.
Yeah.
Who, it relates to people.
Yeah.
Whom, also it relates to people. Which, it relates to animals and objects.
Yeah.
That, it relates to people, animals and things.
Mm-hmm.
Whose, it refers to possession. Where, it refers to places.
Yeah.
When, it refers to time.
Yes.
Why, it refers to reason. And
People.
what, it relates to things.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you mixed. Okay, one of them, you're gonna say it relates to people, things, or place, or time, or
Okay.
reason, or things, whatever. So that
It relates to animals, objects, and things.
people, animals, and things.
Yeah.
Things and objects are same things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, whose?
Whose, it relates to people.
Now whose?
Well, whose, it refers to possession.
Yeah, possession means that my, your,
Her,
her,
his.
their, such things. So when
it relates to time.
Yeah. Why?
It relates to reason.
A reason. Very good. What?
It relates to things.
Great. And whom?
It relates to people.
Like who? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in which cases we need to use relative pronouns?
We can use relative clauses to join two English sentences.
Attention, to join. I mean, there are two sentences. You join them and you make one sentence.
Yeah.
Great.
And we use relative clauses to make clear which person or thing we are talking about.
Yeah. If you want to give some additional information or essential information, you can use relative clauses for that situation. Okay?
Yes. And also, we also use relative clauses to give more information about a person, thing, or situation.
Yeah, additional information.
Yeah.
That means. Okay, next slide.
Yes. Yeah.
So here are given some
examples.
Some given pronouns with examples. Let's check them. First one is
who.
That is relates to people. Okay, let's check the example.
This is a boy. He is my friend. There are two sentences.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a boy who is my friend.
Yeah, you just add here who. With who you can make these two sentences into one sentence. Okay, next one.
Which, it relates to things.
Mm-hmm.
There is a park in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It is Central Park.
Yeah. This is two places.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually two sentences. Yeah.
And the park, which is in New York, is Central Park.
Yeah. Instead of saying there is a park in New York, it is Central Park. You can say the park which is in New York is Central Park. Next one.
That it relates to people and things.
Yeah.
This is a man. He lives across the street.
Mm-hmm.
This is the man that lives across the street.
Yeah.
And second example is, look at my car.
Yeah.
I bought the car yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the car that I bought yesterday.
Yeah. In the first example, as you see, is mentioned. It relates person.
Yeah.
In the second one, it relates an object and things.
Yeah.
And which is car. Next one.
whom,
Mm-hmm.
and it relates people, object, proposition.
Yeah.
This is a boy, I want to see him.
Mm-hmm.
This is a boy whom I want to see.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And also we can use whom with preposition, and so you shouldn't be surprised about that. So, for example, as given in this example, second one, this is a boy.
Boy, I want to speak with him.
We can say also this is a boy, I want to speak to him.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying with him, it's better to say speak to him. And this is a boy to whom I want to speak, or this is a boy with whom I want to speak. Okay, next one.
Whose, it refers to possession.
Mm-hmm.
This is a boy, I borrowed his book.
Mm-hmm.
This is a boy whose book I borrowed.
Wonderful. Next one.
Where, it relates to place.
Mm-hmm.
This is the house, I lived there when I was a child.
Yeah.
And this is the house where I lived when I was a child.
Yes. It is talking about the place where he lived.
The house.
Yeah. Okay, last one.
I will always remember the day we met that day.
Yeah.
I will always remember the day when we met. Yeah.
So when you check the
Example
with relative clause, we say the usage is better because it's more formal and more logic when you say, instead of saying I will always remember the day we met that day, instead of saying that, you should say I will always remember the day when we met. Easier and more formal. Next slide.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's previous one. Yeah. Here there are two type of relative clauses. So we're gonna understand the differences between two type. What are they? Defining
and non-defining
relative clauses. So what is the differences between defining and non-defining relative clauses? With Emre, we're gonna explain you. Okay.
Defining relative clauses at essential information,
whereas non-defining relative clauses add only additional information, add more information. That means, okay.
Okay. Defining relative clauses are not set off by commas,
but non-defining relative clauses are set off by commas. So with non-defining relative clauses, you can see the commas.
Yeah.
So if you see the commas, that means that relative clause is non-defining.
Yeah.
Next one.
Defining relative clauses can begin with that.
But non-defining relative clauses not begin with that.
Yeah, next slide.
Okay. So here are given some examples about defining and non-defining relative clauses. For example, the first one, Emre.
London, by the way, there is comma, which is the capital of England, again comma, is one of the largest cities in the world. Firstly, there are two comma.
So there are even one comma, we can say
non-defining.
Non-defining. There are extra
information.
I mean additional information. Yeah. So, which is, it's a London, which is the capital of England, and the first information. The second information is one of the largest cities in the world. So it becomes non-defining. That's why. Second example.
Okay, this is the.
By the way, if we make the first example instead of non-defining, if we make it defining, how can we make it?
Firstly, we should delete commas.
Yeah, but first, what we're gonna make it, we give one essential information.
Yeah, of course.
We can say London,
which is the capital of England.
That's
enough.
That's enough. So when you say only this information, you take out comma, and then it becomes defining relative clause. Okay, second example.
This is the dress which my mother has made for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is defining, as you see. It's mentioned in the example. Why it is defining?
Because there is no comma, and there is
no extra information.
Yeah.
If there is extra information, you should put the comma.
Yeah, of course.
Next one.
Queen Elizabeth II, who is 83.
This is for first information.
Yeah. Comma, has been the Queen of England for 57 years now.
For 57 years now. So there are additional informations. We can say that's non-defining. So that's the dog
that bit me.
Defining. It is short information defining. Okay, next one.
Tom Cruise, who has starred a lot of films, is a famous American actor.
So there are extra informations, commas, so it is non-defining. Okay, let's check next slide.
Yes.
Here are given also some examples to practice. Let's check from the first one. And we're gonna choose the most suitable words in each sentence, okay, together with Emre.
Yeah.
My friend Jack,
blah blah.
We're gonna use blah blah, yeah. Parents live in Glasgow. Okay. Firstly, my friend Jack is a person, yeah?
Yes.
But attention, say parents, yeah? It's kind of possession.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
My friend Jack and parents. So we have to join this information with
his parents.
With a possession relative clause, which is whose, yeah? We can say my friend Jack, whose parents live in Glasgow.
Invited me to
spend
Christmas in Scotland.
Great. Next one.
Here is the computer program, blah blah, I told you about.
It is a computer program, so it is a
thing,
object, yeah. So
that's fine.
Whose we said it refers to possession. Whom is refers to person, so there is no person here we talk. We use that. Okay, next one.
I don't believe the story, blah blah, she told us.
Yeah.
The story.
Attention, this the topic is story, okay? The story. So the relative clause is story. So we're gonna use relative clause related to the story. Story is a thing or situation. That means who know that again. I don't believe the story that she told us. Next one.
Peter comes from Whitney.
Great.
Blah blah is near Oxford.
Peter comes from Whitney is a place.
But no. Peter comes from Whitney. It says Peter comes from Whitney. Blah blah is near Oxford.
Yeah.
I think it's not place.
It's talking about Whitney.
No, I think it's talking about Peter. Because it says Peter comes from Whitney.
No, you can. Here we have to use which or
that.
It's near Oxford. So we can say there is comma. So if there is comma, we cannot use that.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when there is comma, we cannot use that. We cannot use who because it's not talking about Peter. It's talking about Peter, place where he comes. So we're gonna say which, yeah. Peter comes from Whitney, which is near Oxford.
Okay.
Next one.
This is the gum with blah blah. The murder was committed.
This is the gum with blah blah. So this here is mentioned. There is no comma, first of all.
Yeah, that's why we can use that.
It's defining when there is no comma. There is no extra information. Yeah, only one information exists. This is the gum with whom we cannot say because the gum is not a person. So which is it is not non-defining relative clauses because there is no comma and there is no extra information. So we should use that. And this is the gum with that the murder was committed. Okay, next one.
Have you received the parcel, blah blah, we sent you?
The parcel is a thing, object, okay.
That or which?
Is there extra information?
No.
No, so?
That.
That, yeah. Have you received the parcel that we sent you? Good. Next one.
Is this the person, blah blah, you asked me about? It's talking about...
Is this the person? Person is a person, yeah? It always relates... it's easy one. Who? Is this the person who you asked me about? Okay, next one. That's the girl, blah blah, brother sits next to me at attention. That's the girl and brother. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. So possession, yeah. We use whose is going to be our correct option. That's the girl whose brother sits next to me at school. Wonderful. Next one. The meal, blah blah, wasn't very tasty, was quite expensive. The meal wasn't very tasty, was quite expensive. The meal is a... We cannot use that because there are commas and extra information. Okay, we cannot use whose as well. And there is no possession. There is no situation for possession. Yeah. So the only option we can use is which. So next one. We didn't enjoy the play, blah blah. We enjoyed the play, blah blah. We went to see. We went to see. So the play, yeah? Yeah. It's not possession situation, it's not person, it's a play, yeah? That's why. So that's that. That's all for this week and see you in next video. Goodbye.